Hey there, your eights. When it comes to adding and subtracting decimals, the aim is to make sure that you put them in their place values correctly because we're using our metric system. So let's have a look here. We've got 23.07, so I'm going to put them 2 in my tens column, 3 in my units column, decimal point, tenths column, and then the hundredths column, right? When I write the next number, which is 103.659, I need to put the 1 in the hundreds column, 0 in the tens column, 3 in the units, and then 6 in the tenths, 5 in the hundredths, and then 9 in the thousandths, right? But then what's going above in the section where it's just on the 23.07, this here, it helps to put a 0 in because we don't have any thousandths. So therefore we're going to put 0 there just so that it all looks nice and even. Here we go. We're going to do the same for 9.9. So 9.9 is 9 in the units column and then 9 tenths in the tenths column, and then you fulfill the other positions with a 0. So that way we can now add them in comparison. Okay, so if it helps, you can put the zeros here if you want. Sometimes too many zeros may be confusing, especially the ones at the front. Okay, so let's add them together now. I'm going to add them, and here we go. So this is my question, and we're doing our method. So 9, 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry the 1 because 7 plus 5 gives you 12 hundredths. But we know that 12 hundredths is the same thing. Hundredths is the same thing as 10 tenths, 1 tenths and 2 hundredths. Because remember how we were talking about 10 of these hundredths make 1 tenths? Well, we can split that into 10 and 2, and we know that 10 of these hundredths is equivalent to 1 tenths, and then we've got the leftover 2. That's why we write 2 in the hundredths, and we carry the 1 onto the tenths column. That's the reasoning why that happens. Okay, so I'm going to delete this now. Now you've got 1 of these tenths plus 6 tenths plus 9 tenths gives you 16 tenths. But 16 tenths is the same thing as 1 unit and 6 tenths. That's why we do 6 tenths and carrying the 1 unit into the units column, and now we add all the units columns. So it's 3 plus 3 plus 1 is 7, 7 plus 9 is 16 again. 16 units is equivalent to 1 tens and 6 units, so 1 plus 2, 3. So you can see the value of understanding the metric system and the place value. That's what you would do for addition and subtraction. So it follows the same concept. So I'm going to do over here, same thing again, 9.7. Take away 2.86, and again I'd fill that empty position with a 0. I'm now doing subtraction, and we can see 0 cannot take 6. So what we do is we convert one of these tenths. So do we take away one of these tenths and we remove it and we put it over here? 1 tenths is equal to 1 100ths. Okay, so 1 of these tenths is equal to 10 of these hundredths. That's why I can then take off the 1 tenths. It becomes 6 tenths now, and that extra 1 tenths, we put it back into the hundredths column, and we say, well, now you have 10 hundredths. So 10 of these hundredths take away 6 gives me 4 hundredths. 6 take away 8, we can't do it again. So we say, all right, let's take it from the units column. So now I've got 8 units, and I carry one of these units is equivalent to 10 of these tenths. That's why 10 of these tenths plus the 6 gives you 16, or normally they just say carry the 1. Okay, that's why you get 16. So 16 take away 8 gives you 8, and then 8 take away 2 gives you 6. Okay, so it's all to do with borrowing the columns. It's essentially understanding that for every place value, there are groups of 10. That's why this works. Okay, it's not magical, it's very logical.